How y'all doing? I'm just sitting here pacing back and forth, and I am reminiscing over some of the things that I was able to do as a child. I remember back in the 70s when I went to my grandmother's house from Kellogg, Idaho to Salt Lake City, Utah. My mother purchased the ticket over the telephone. We went to the airport together with my mother and my father, and we went to the ticket agency straight up. Nobody showed no ID, and my mom purchased the ticket that she'd ordered just by saying her name. At that point, she handed me the ticket and let me carry the ticket through the airport. I went to the airport in Spokane National. It wasn't international then. I don't even know if it is now, here in Washington. So I grew up right over here in Kellogg, just a small hop and leap from Pasco, where I'm staying right now. And anyway, so my mom escorts me completely to the ramp to load onto the airplane. And at that point, I handed the stewardess my ticket. She escorted me to the seat number and had me sit down. It was an hour and a half flight, and she stopped by and talked with me a couple of times during the flight. And at the end of the flight, she came to my seat. I'm approximately 9 or 10 years old at this point in time. She came to my seat. She said, "Okay, Brian, your destination, we're here." And she walked me to the docking gate and walked me up a ramp and to my grandmother and didn't ask ID. And my grandmother received me. What's going on today, people? You don't even know what freedom is. You sold it all. Unwittingly. You just give it away to the corporate United States of America. You willfully pay your taxes for nothing but lies and deceit. Now with this bullshit that's been created on this Hegelian dialectic that they got going on right now, it's intentional, and it's them making their play. See, they created the problem with this CVDZ thing that they have going on and locked down society for 3 months. And then they intentionally purported that George Floyd had been kneeled down on by a white police officer for 10 minutes or whatever it was to create a lot of unrest in these people that have been locked down because of the CVDZ. 1984 is what we're going for. And so all these people become unrest, and now the cities are being torn down, and they want to say it's a democratic ones, and you can say that because maybe they put their people in place. It don't matter. It's you folks out there that matter. You've been paying for security to these evil entities for so long, for You give them your tax money without warrant or merit. There's no reason for our military to be out on other continents trying to police it and creating chaos and hate towards us from the beginning. Everybody that votes is a fool, and they have no reason to protest the voting outcome because they played their stupid game. The one thing we all do understand is that this government has been totally deceitful in every aspect. And y'all need to read the Declaration of Independence, because when governments become out of control like this, it is the duty of the people to correct that government and institute new government that will better the impact of their life. You see,
that's why they can't
you
impeach.
people don't even understand.
That's why they can't impeach
The
too, and they don't. I think there's only been
occupiers of the United States country, that the colonial system called it, from Europe, was populated by Indians or nomadic people, whatever you want to call them, for thousands and thousands of years, and they did just fine. They kept Mother Earth in check by not putting her out of check. They used the balances of nature to make sure it maintained, and they did just fine until Rome came to the United States. What do you ask? Rome came to the United States? Yes, Rome came to the United States. Many of you don't understand, and you don't know that London was founded by Rome. Sure was. Vatican City is the religious sector of this mind control game. The City of London, which is founded by Rome, is the financial entity of the game. Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, it's the military might of the Trinity that has got this world on end. And until them three entities are destroyed, we're never going to see peace, as the Indians did in this continent they call the United States, that has been brought into the entire colonial system. What is the colonial system? It is a system of indoctrination that's been brought upon this nation and every other nation. They tell you history. You don't research history. You just are going to the indoctrination systems where they're having their classes with every other child that's been abducted from their parents for the day. And they are being indoctrinated to believe exactly what they want them to believe. Because if you have questions, you don't get answers, such as do some experiment and do your own investigation, form your own thesis and conclusion. Real science, they tell you in public school the answers are in the books. read the books. And if you do good on the tests, then we're going to pay you more money in your life. And you'll be better off. Y'all buy a driver license. You don't need one to travel. But back in the early 20s, or late teens, early 20s, they had these things called drivers. In the late 18s even, the word drive comes from driving cattle to the market. And now you're all being driven to the market. It's a long indoctrinating system. They have system after system shoved up your butt. The educational system, the political system, the monetary system, the religious system, the solar system, system stuffed up your butt. But life is a cycle, and everything goes through a cycle. It don't go through a system. But you're all indoctrinated to believe in the system. Me, I am not. Okay, you be quiet over there, young lady. Now, let me tell you about the driver license scam that is part of the initiation of everything that's going on right now. See, the driver was from the cattle. They were making money, so you had to have a license to drive the cattle because you were making money driving the cattle. When you were riding your horse across town, you didn't have to have a license, but if you were on the cattle drive, you had to have a license to drive the cattle. And you're all being cattle now because now you're all having driver licenses. They just switched it around a little bit. And so in the early mid-teens and early 20s, they started handing out no driver license tickets to the people because they were transporting from point A to point B, but they weren't making money. But they handed out these tickets. They handed out these tickets and forced the people to go in front of the judge. The people would go in front of the judge. This is all a Mason thing. All judges are Masons. You go in front of the judge. The judge would tell you that the fine is $10 and 3 days in jail if you go get your driver license. Even though you weren't driving, if you just go get your driver license, then we will suspend the fine and the jail time. The driver license is only $5. The fine's $10 and 3 days in jail. What are you gonna do?
But you think they did it that early?
I know they did. And anyway, so then they bring on the flat earth people starts coming up. Roxanne, would you be quiet? The flat earth starts coming into existence because they pushed it out in the late 1800s. And in 1914, it started to make a comeback. And all of a sudden we have World War I. It goes on for a while, and everybody forgets about the flat earth reality. Really strange that way, how that happens. Really strange how that happens. Hey, then, you know what? Then you got a bunch of time goes along and people start realizing again that Earth's flat. It starts making its comeback on whatever religious system you believe. I'm not religious. I'm not a system. I'm a cycle. I live in a cycle. Just like Earth lives in a cycle. So, anyway, 20 years, another generation goes by, and you come into 1944, the flat Earth is coming back, and all of a sudden, got World War II. And from what they say, Henry Ford is supplying Hitler with the military-industrial complex that Hitler had with the motors and the components to create the weapons of destruction that Hitler had. Planes, whatever. So, the flat Earth is crushed again. This time it takes a little bit of time to come back because in 1958 the United States government creates NASA. And NASA goes up there in a couple years and they take pictures of Earth. You go look at that VR-1 rocket and them images of the surface of Earth are flat, and there's 3 of them, and they are flat from point to point to point, but they're bent in such a shape that they seem like they're making a radius. People's minds are simple. They've been indoctrinated to believe what they're indoctrinated to believe. And so then they get up there and technology gets a little better and the life progresses a little more, and now they're able to get up there and take a picture of the spinning ball Earth. So now we got the spinning ball Earth. It's going, it's happening now. There ain't no stopping it. For many years, it ain't just another generation, which it was from the 1800s, it was another generation at the flat Earth. And now, it took clear until, I'd say 2015 is when the flat Earth reality started making a major comeback.
You don't want the lid on?
I'm saying no. 2015. Yeah, I was saying no to my wife. The flat Earth started making a major comeback, and it has been growing exponentially. And now in 2019, in 2015 there was only about 500,000 flat earthers, and now in 2019 there's about 15 million of us, because we've come to the realization that everything we've ever been told in life is nothing but horseshit. From the very birth, they put that mobile with the stars and the sun and the moon and maybe a cloud or two over your head and spun it around, hypnotizing you. Sure did, sure did. And so, this COVID thing. There's a video out there now that COVID stays on dollars and glass, paper money and glass, for up to 28 days. This COVID thing and Google has totally silenced the reality of the flat Earth because we were coming back so hard and so fast. The reality of the realm we live in. We don't know what keeps the sun up there orbiting overhead and the moon up there orbiting overhead. We don't. But neither does any of this pseudoscience bullshit make any sense of what they say. Sorry, I got a little thirsty. So, yes, this COVID thing, they shut down the world, locked everybody up for 3 months, and then they kill this guy. Now we have total chaos going on. Small businesses are all closed and big box businesses are staying open. We got military coming in on civilians in the United States, something that none of you ever thought you'd ever see in your entire life, yet here it is happening right in front of your face. I seen this a long time ago, and I've been telling everybody about it, but nobody would listen to me. I started figuring this shit out around 9/11. In 01. I'd always believed in what the government said until they tried to say that them buildings fell from planes hitting them. Because I'm a construction worker and I know that there is no way them trade centers came down on their own. And so I started doing a lot of investigation on the government and the banking cartels But that's a different subject. I'm kind of running windy right now. I don't know. I'll go like that. See, I even turn my phone off. But anyway, this COVID-19 is an economic reset. It's to squash the reality of the flat earth, because it's the flat earth people who are going to take over and make things right. Because we are the ones that realize that reality ain't what they have told us it is. And we're all getting tired of the bullshit. We're done with the lies. Observe reality and let reality present itself. You can deny reality all you want, but that don't change reality. Anyway, I'm about winded out on that one. I don't even know why I did it. I just had a spur of the moment thing. See y'all.